We are ready to go. We are not happy. BDP, how you doing? How you doing this Monday, man?
Um, I'm doing.
You good?
CDS.
You all right?
I'm
You getting
doing.
through it?
I'm doing. You might be a little bit surprised where I go with
Oh,
this.
really?
Yeah,
That's okay.
you might be a bit surprised where I go with this. But no, I'm doing. I'm doing. Want me just get into it? Want me just get into it? Want me just get
Let,
into
let's do it.
where my blame lies? Right? We could put blame on the OC. We could put blame on the offense. I've seen people put blame on the quarterback. I've seen people put blame on Saquon. I have seen people put blame on the defense. I, my blame goes to two people and two people only. Number one
Us?
blame, no, number one blame goes to Nick Sirianni. And it's not because of the offensive play calling, CDS. It's because the amount of penalties that were called.
Horrific.
That's a coaching thing. That's a coaching thing.
100%.
If your guys are out of it that much and you're false starting and you're pass interferencing and you're blocking in the backing and you're holding and you're doing this, that, and the third, that's a coaching thing. So that's blame number one. And then number two's got to go to Howie Roseman, dude. There's no other way to put it. Like me and you were excited about getting Michael Carter for what purpose? Why get him?
Yep.
Send him back to the Jets. Get him the hell out of here. Yair Alexander, he's not even putting on an Eagles jersey. It's clear as day what Vic Fangio was talking about as Coop not being a number two, just being a slot guy yesterday. And Coop, I love you. Yesterday was clear as day that Howie needed to go out and get a real number two corner. A
100%.
real number two corner, dude. I don't want to see the back of Coop's jersey this many times ever in a game. And it's not like he was getting beat. It seemed like he was getting picked on. Like he's getting outjumped for balls. Like it was bad. And then Reed Blankenship goes down again. What's the point of bringing Michael Carter? What's the point of bringing him in? Like Sidney Brown,
And not just,
dude. Are
don't
you
forget,
shitting me, Sidney fucking Brown, bro? Like,
not
dude,
just
it's
Reed Blankenship. I mean, don't forget, I didn't realize this during the game till after how bad it was. Makuba's got a broken ankle.
yeah. It was disgusting what transpired yesterday in the passing game. And it was and it felt like the Cowboys said, we are going to pick on Cooper DeJean. That's literally what it felt like, dude. Like I'm seeing a bomb and dude, why is Coop on that guy? Seeing it again. Wait, why is Coop on that guy? I'm seeing it again. Why is Coop on that guy? And of course, Twitter messages are down, dude. But I'm messaging you, and I'm like, dude, what's the point of getting Michael Carter if we're still going to see the same shit that we saw before we even brought him in? Like,
Well, yeah, because
I
you know
can't even
why?
I can't even break it down and say, is this guy worth it or not? And then I'm also
As
seeing,
as crazy as it is, just real quick, and I'm not saying he was good yesterday, but clearly Adoree Jackson is actually better and keeping him off the field.
yeah, and that says wonders. That says wonders. If
Yeah, it
he's better than
does.
Carter, they're both. I don't want both of them. I don't want either of them in. Like that. Like I don't want either of them in, dude. Like I'm seeing a guy wide open across the middle. Whose man is that? Number 8. Okay. I'm seeing a man
Can I
right going deep. Who is that? That's cool. It's like, dude,
can I want to add
we only
something
got one
about
guy in the passing game.
I
Like
want to add
Howie,
something about Nick Sirianni.
You needed to get
Okay?
somebody, Howie. Yeah,
Yeah, but I
Ringo
want to
too. Yeah, Ringo's fucking awful. Super young poet. Don't get me fucking started. Like, dude, don't get me started. Ringo's trash. Howie Roseman needed to get a real number 2 corner. Like this is disgusting. It's disgusting. It's frustrating. It should not have been the case, dude. I'm
should have
seeing
just kept Isaiah if possible. They could have done it with the money. I didn't understand letting
absolutely.
him go.
And then let me just get on the flip side, just because I'm in the middle of a tangent here. The touchdown pass to whatever the hell the tight end is for the Cowboys. Dude literally runs over his man, like runs his man over in the end zone,
Yeah.
ends wide open. And then that pass interference call where CeeDee Lamb is literally grabbing Cooper's face mask, like holding his
Oh,
face mask in his
that
hand.
yeah.
Yet somehow that's a defensive pass interference.
Yeah, that
Again,
was awful. But
all that's
I
nasty
got
work. But George Pickens and it felt like the Cowboys were it felt like the Cowboys were just picking on Cooper DeJean in the passing game, especially once dude.
yeah, well,
It
we were
literally felt
down.
like once Reed got out of the game, like they just said, "All right, we're just passing it all over the place."
Oh yeah, I mean, if anyone thought Reed Blankenship was just a safety who was out there, they might want
Yeah.
to rethink that now because we saw what
Saquon
it's
needs to
like
stop.
without him.
Super Young Poet, just because Super Young Poet's in the chat. Shout out to
But
you, Super
I
Young Poet. I
before we even go
appreciate
any further, we got to back up a second because you talked about Nick Sirianni and you said not even the offense and not the play calling. Well, let me add one thing to that because it has come up. I mean, first of all, you could see it in the play, and um, Dickerson said this after the game, and I mean, I don't think he said it specific to the coach. He wasn't throwing Nick Sirianni under the bus, but that's where Nick went. And to me, this is a fireable offense. Is how bad this is. One of the things the Cowboys have been doing this year, and everyone knows it, is a 5-man down front, a 5, not a 4, not a 3, a 5-man front. And they did it to us. And you saw what the pass protection looked like, after those first few drives. And the Eagles, the players are saying, like Dickerson said, he said, yeah, the Cowboys went with 5 down and, we didn't expect that. We didn't think they would be doing that. And we didn't prepare for it. And it's like, how was that even possible? How is that even possible that the Cowboys did something they have been doing and you did not even prepare for it? Like, what the hell is this coaching staff doing that they can't even get their team ready for something they should know is coming?
Mm,
How is that possible?
yeah. Super Young Poet. Saquon's cooked, dude. I don't know. I don't know if anybody's gonna tell you that. I totally agree. But what are we gonna do about the running game? Saquon's cooked, man. He's fucking cooked. He's done. He's finished. Like, go
I'm sorry.
50-50. Go
I'm
50-50
just
with Tanks Bigsby. Go 50-50 with
uh,
Tank Bigsby. Like,
yeah.
I'm tired of seeing
I'm
Saquon.
laughing with what you're saying because I just went to the comments now and I'm wondering for a second I'm wondering what the heck you're talking about when you keep saying
Yeah,
super
yeah,
young poet. I'm
yeah.
like, who is that?
Yeah, man, he's cooked, bro. He's cooked. He's cooked, dude. He's falling over. He's slipping. He can't get by the first level of the
He can't.
defense. He can't make a miss in the
Dude.
backfield, dude. Every time Tank get the ball, he makes at least one person miss. Like,
Minus Saquon Barkley has been good for one game this season. One game.
yeah, Poet.
Without that game,
Tank doesn't look like that though. Like, they're both running behind the same offensive line, Poet. I mean, I don't, I,
Tank Bigsby's
I don't know what to tell you.
Tank Bigsby's averaging 9 yards a carry.
Like, he just
He's
doesn't make
good every
anybody
time he's
miss.
out there.
Saquon just doesn't make
Saquon
people
Barkley
miss.
looks terrible. He can't make anyone miss. He doesn't hit holes. He doesn't lower his shoulder and try and run into guys. And he doesn't have the explosiveness to get away from them.
And you can't even blame the offensive line because it's not like the Giants' offensive line was anything crazy when Saquon was literally in the youngest prime of his career. He was still putting up massive numbers with the Giants. Man,
Yeah.
I mean, he's
Plus,
had one good game. He's had one good game out of 11
one good
games.
game.
We can't say he's
He's
not
averaged.
playing like shit. Playing like shit.
He's averaging 3 yards a carry without that game. He's been absolutely and you know what? Here's the thing. If we want to put this all on the offensive line, then one, why is Tank doing what he's doing in limited capacity? Which, by the way, I would argue in some levels that's even tougher to
Line's not
sit
good,
like he
bro.
does.
We're not saying that the line's as good as it was
No,
last year,
not
but
at all.
we have to be honest here. Like, we have to just be honest with what
The
we're saying.
point being, Saquon is getting paid like a guy who can produce even if the offensive line's below average. Right? That's the point. The man's getting paid like someone who's going to produce. And we talked about this at the beginning of the season. I mean, I'm not expecting 2,500 yards, but I'm expecting 13, 14, 1,500. I'm expecting at least 4 yards a carry.
Yeah,
At least
no.
maybe, or, come on.
Yeah, no, Poe, you're absolutely right. That's part of the issue. You're not giving the ball to Tank at all. Like, when he does get the carry, he looks very good with the ball in his hand. He's just not getting the ball nearly enough. That's why it needs to be 50-50, dude. Saquon Barkley yesterday, 10 attempts for 22 yards. That's disgusting. That's awful.
That is
That's
disgusting.
bad. That's
Dude,
not good. That's pathetic.
That's
Trent Richardson on the Cleveland Browns. That's not good at all.
Yeah, you can pick up an ex NFL player who's still in decent shape that got cut earlier this year somewhere.
One carry. That's
do
what I'm
better.
saying.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
And do better than that.
It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. One carry don't even use him out of the backfield. This guy can make people miss in the backfield. It's like, what the fuck are we doing here?
Here's some tinfoil hat stuff for you, Ben. Sorry, I dropped. My cord got unplugged. I almost wonder if they're minimizing the use of Tank because it makes the coaching staff and it makes Howie Roseman and everyone look even worse. They can't use because you know what? Who's Saquon Barkley? Other than people like you and me, Ben, he's kind of flown under the radar in terms of getting criticism for the performance with this team, right? Everyone's blaming Jalen Hurts, number one, right? Focusing on the drama with A.J. Brown, talking about the offensive line. Barely anybody's going, other than I did see Emmanuel Acho just say it the other day, or yesterday or today or something. No one's talking about the fact that, dude, Saquon Barkley, even with this offensive line, is just been awful. He has been awful. And it goes to what we were saying before we came on, Ben. People want to be like, oh, how the hell does Jalen Hurts take that sack on 3rd and 2? Well, listen, you absolute clowns. It should have been a first down, number one. Saquon Barkley slips on his own, running up the field, trips over God knows what. And then come on, 3rd and 2 for the Eagles in that situation. Is there anybody other than the absolute moron calling the plays that says, let's pass the ball? What are we doing? What are we doing?
Yeah, man, I don't know what they were doing yesterday. Dude, they didn't score for 41 minutes. That's not good.
Yeah.
That's not
Super
good.
Young Poet, I agree. The offensive line has been terrible. And look, we saw that post those 3 drives. We saw that in the pass protection as well. Jalen Hurts was not getting time. I mean, he was under pressure all game yesterday. So it wasn't even just in the running. I mean, the offensive line has been bad. And there's another guy flying under the radar with the injuries to like
Yeah,
Lane and
but they're
Cam.
not even bringing
No
in
one's
like.
talking about Mulata.
Yeah, but
Mulata's been
the thing in with yesterday is like, dude, you're not even bringing in extra personnel to help protect the quarterback. Like, why we still have 3, 4 wide receivers on the floor? Why on the field?
well,
Why bring in
yeah,
2
but
tight ends? Bring in 3 tight ends. Go with 13
but
Love.
well, first, well,
What
here's
are they
the
doing
thing.
here? What's his name? Demario
Calcaterra,
Davis, dude. I saw Demario Davis at number 80, right? Like I saw him too many times, and I would want to see him.
Calcaterra is one of the worst blockers in the NFL, so you don't want him in the block, although they do it a lot. But
Just
also
chip,
don't,
just chip. They're not even chipping. Like
but
it's.
yeah, but don't forget, man. Like they went heavy personnel a couple of times. One, they did it, and then they ran Saquon Barkley the other way and lost yardage.
I'm saying during passing, you
Well,
got extra
I'm getting to
blockers.
that. I'm getting to that. Don't forget, and I forget which play it was because there were a few big plays called back, but one of them was it Goddard or Barkley? There was a big passing play, and it was called back. And it was when we went extra. I think we had an
Goddard,
extra guy in. I
Goddard
forget who came in, but we made him eligible. But it was an offensive lineman, and we got an illegal formation
formation. Yeah, that
penalty
was a Goddard play.
because the wide receiver covered him up.
Yeah, that was a Goddard play.
Yeah, that was okay. So that's the thing. I mean, and that's the other thing too that you and I were talking about beforehand.
What up, Rhodes?
I felt like I was watching an undisciplined Pop Warner team with not just the penalties, which were horrifically bad, but what we haven't even gotten to, Ben? You know what we haven't gotten to that's really going to get me worked up? Because for me, like, I'm so old school with fundamentals that I'm like, and now I can't even, I think it was it, oh man, I can't think of the punt returner's name, but dude, you should be banned from the NFL for freaking life catching a punt on the damn 2-yard line.
Yeah.
And then dancing around and getting popped and losing the. Are you kidding? Who the hell catches the punt on the 2-yard? That was a touchback.
Xavier Gibson, man, and I even said it in my post game recap.
By the way, Rhodes, thank you, sir. I appreciate that so much.
Yeah,
I just saw it. I was getting worked up, my friend.
I said it in my post game recap. I said, dude, who the fuck do you think you are? You think you're Dante Hall? You think you're Devin Hester? You think you're Deshaun
Right, yeah.
Jackson?
I
You're
mean,
fucking Xavier Gibson, dude. If it's behind the 10, let it go in the end. It's not that hard.
God,
if it's behind the 10, let it go in the end. There are these adages for a reason. Like they don't just make up these phrases to make up the phrases. If we're even, I'm leaving. If it's behind the 10, it's going in the. Why are you catching on the 2-yard line, dude? Like, what the fuck are you up to?
Absolutely
dude, hold on. I'm
stupid.
fucking pissed. Saquon Barkley's fumble. Fuck Saquon Barkley and that fucking fumble, man. I'm pissed. That fumble was disgusting. It was disgusting. It was bad. I will say that's damn near why we lost the game. All bad things considered.
Gibson.
That Saquon Barkley fumble was the reason we lost the game. If Saquon doesn't fumble there,
but
it's Gibson. It's weird. It's Gibson. If Saquon Barkley doesn't fumble the ball, we win the game. It's that simple.
Well, you know what?
Saquon
Here's the thing.
fumbled the fucking ball.
Here's the thing. If we
carelessly fumbled the ball.
I don't have a lot of faith that anything's changing because I don't think the play calling is going to change. But to your point, all the things we're talking about is all stuff that shouldn't have happened, and a lot of it happened in the same game. and yet we still only lost 24-21. So I mean, I guess if we want to take away something positive, we could be like, we did everything we possibly could. We bent over backward to get blown out, and we still only lost by 3. I mean, we could look at it that way. But yeah, I mean, Saquon Barkley almost single-handedly lost this game between the fumble and the slip.
Dude slips on a banana peel.
I
I mean,
mean,
dude, we got to be honest. Like he's done
well, and the thing is that cut, some people say, oh, it happens and it was a cut, but there was no need. If he just went
nothing.
forward, he picks up the first down. But I will say, and a lot of the play calling, again, absolutely terrible. But if we just isolate it down again to the same situation, 3rd and 2, 2 minutes to go in the game, you have the 600-pound squatting quarterback. How is it we just don't tush push twice in a row? Or if you want to hand it off and then tush push if you don't get it, that's fine too. But why are we throwing a slant in that situation?
Well, listen to this, Super Young Poet. Super Young Poet, listen to this. Saquon Barkley has only had 3 games this year rushing over 70 yards. 3 games where he's rushed over 70 yards. 1 game where he's rushed over 100 yards.
1.
Dog.
Oh, to that point, check this out.
Dude,
I don't
dude,
I don't have it with me.
what else to tell you?
Somebody tried to put a positive spin on it, and someone was saying, "Hey, don't forget, last year Saquon Barkley wasn't leading the league in rushing until week 12 when he went off for 255 yards." And I'm like, "Yeah, but he was in the top 5, and he certainly wasn't playing like he is right now. Come on, man."
And it's
And Black and White, hey, Rhodes, it is not going well, my friend. I appreciate you asking, but it is not going well.
It's nasty business, dude. It's just
That is one of the most awful games that I have seen the Eagles play in a long, long time. From top to bottom. That's the thing. Like I'm saying, we could sit here and just go down the list.
Yeah, Chris. Offensive line's weak, man. It's the week. Welcome both of you guys to this to the live stream. By the way, me and CDS go live every Sunday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and every week we say, if you look at this team, the biggest weakness is the offensive line, the D line, the linebacking crew, the secondary, the wide receiver core, the quarterback. Of all of the groups on this team, the offensive line is the weakest point on this team. SNK Rob, I have no idea why Tank Bigsby only got 1 carry, other than these people are fucking idiots. They're idiots. They're fools. They don't understand what they need to do. They see Tank have a good dude. Rob, Tank Bigsby had a game. 9 carries, 104 yards. Listen to this. Listen to this nonsense. 9 carries, 104 yards against the Giants. 9 carries, 104 yards against the Giants. In the last 3 games since that game, he hasn't even gotten 9 carries total.
I'm telling you, he
hasn't even gotten 9 carries.
They don't want to expose how bad Saquon Barkley is. If they put Tank out there, he's going to impress, and then people can't blame the line for Barkley's bad performance. No, Rhodes, I agree too, man. The Eagles have done a terrible job of being able to handle a lead. They get a lead, then they completely change anything, go over the top conservative, and they let the other team come back because they don't sustain drives. Then the defense gets tired. And yesterday, besides the defense getting tired, we got to add in the injuries, which didn't help because the defensive side of the ball, they were just dropping like flies.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, Super Young Poet. That was it. That was the one game all season that the team rushing game was actually decent.
Yeah, I lost sleep last night thinking about that. Yeah, Rob, this whole Tank Bigsby conundrum is crazy, dude. This whole Tank Bigsby conundrum of why he's not even getting touches. Not only is he not getting touches, they're not even throwing him the ball out of the backfield. Like, if you're not going to use him in the running game, fine. At least bring him in on some passing situations and let him do something out of the backfield.
Yeah, I'm really disappointed in how they. I was going to say how they've used Tank, but I should say in how they've not used Tank.
Yeah, I mean, listen to this, dude. We traded for him. This is the craziest part. We traded for him, and he did not make an appearance for the first 6 games that he was on our team. The first 6 games this dude was on our roster, he did not make an appearance. They just don't know what they're doing, man. There's no creativity here at all. I don't
No,
understand why we can do LT, Darren
well,
Sproles. We could
I
do
want to, yeah.
LaShawn, whoever LaShawn's was back in the day.
LaShawn's dead to me, man. I don't
Like
even want to
there
hear his
are
name.
like you could do running back tandems, and they just refuse to do tandems just because Saquon Barkley is named Saquon Barkley. I don't care who his name is.
Yeah,
Let's use
100%,
running
dude.
back committee.
Will Shipley is used more than Tank Bigsby is.
It's nasty
You know,
work.
yeah, Rhodes. To your point, I was gonna say, yeah. I mean, look, they did with us yesterday, and that's why we keep saying for those just listener or what have you, we get that the offensive line has been bad, and it was horrifically bad in pass protection yesterday too. What we're saying though is Saquon Barkley is a gazillion-dollar running back, and he's not producing to his level, even with the troubles with the offensive line. And Tank Bigsby has shown that with that same line, he's producing a little better, and he should be getting carries. Period. Because here's the other thing: even if you just think of it as we don't want to overwork Saquon Barkley after the workload of last season, right? I'm not even saying don't use him, but how about 12 carries for Barkley and 10 for Bigsby? Because what did you say he had yesterday, Ben? 10 carries, right? He got 22 yards yesterday. Barkley had 22 yards rushing yesterday on what I think 10 carries. Is that
10
correct?
carries, 22 yards. Longest was
That's
7. And dude, Rhodes, you missed this part. That's Trent Richardson numbers. Like, that's Trent Richardson numbers. That's not good.
dude.
That's really bad.
That's 15 yards on the other 9 carries, man.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's actually well. And the
Uh,
problem is, he's not making anybody miss in the backfield. He's not making
no,
anybody
to
miss in the
what Rhodes
backfield.
is saying, Ben, we've been talking about this a lot, Rhodes. We went through one
Yeah.
time. I can't remember if we broke it down completely on the live. I know we talked about it
No, yeah, it was
before.
on
We
live.
were talking
It was
about
on live.
the age of big number one running backs
Yeah.
and when they just can
After year
fall off
9,
a
you go
cliff.
year 8,
And
9, you go bye bye.
yeah, and Barkley's at that. He's at that point, and he just had a massive workload last year.
Yeah.
And that's what we're saying. He may be not completely finished, but he's not gonna. I don't know that he'll ever be Barkley again.
Yeah. It's Yeah, there's just no
Now,
creativity either. There's no gimmick. There's no gimmick plays. I'm not. We don't need to do it, but there's no gimmick plays to try to free either of these guys open. Like we wasted Tank. There's no point. I don't even know why we even traded for him at this point.
yeah,
It makes no
agreed.
sense.
Now, what I did notice, because we have to be fair about when there are stretches. The offense started out fantastic. We saw some plays that worked well that we had not seen all season long. And so what I'm getting a lot with Kevin Patullo is if you give him the week, he can put together, you know, like what something Andy Reid was really good at, the script to start a game.
Mhm.
What he is absolutely terrible at doing is making adjustments with his play calling during the game, right? Like clearly Dallas adjusted to what we did on our first 3 drives, and Kevin Patullo did not. And
Mhm.
that's what we see game in and game out. It just completely falls apart. They resort to completely predictable running. We talked about it with the 3rd and 2 right before we got on with Dallas Goedert. What did he run? A hitch. Covered the entire time. By the way, the A.J. Brown slant was designed to run right into Dallas Goedert's hitch. It made no sense. We run more hitches by a gazillion than any other team in the NFL. We run 3 guys 6 yards up the field and have them all turn around and stand there.
Mhm.
It's bizarre.
Yeah. To what Chris Bruce was saying, how he got a lot of work to do the offseason. We ain't doing nothing this postseason. Chris Bruce, you may have joined late, Chris Bruce. Yesterday was as clear as day that we needed to get a number 2 cornerback, not somebody else's nickel corner. We needed to get a real number 2 corner at the deadline. That's what yesterday proved it hands down. Hands down. We need a real number 2. And we didn't get a number 2. We got Michael Carter, who's fucking sitting on. Me and Michael Carter have the same amount of tackles for the Philadelphia Eagles this year. It's nasty work.
Oh, hey Ben, real quick, because maybe you can help me with this. It just popped into my head as you're talking about the defense,
It's
and this
fucking
goes back again to the penalties as well. And I can't remember. Maybe you can help me out. I can't remember what the penalty was, although I think it was a cheap one on negating N'Kobe Dean's big interception,
Oh, 12 men,
right?
12 men
Stuff
on the
like
floor.
that.
It was
I mean,
12 men on the field.
That's what I think. That's what it was. And yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because that pissed me off so much. I'm like, that's either really poor coaching,
Yeah.
right, with getting the and or really lazy player, and there's no excuse for either one of those
Mhm,
things.
mhm,
You
mhm.
know, and that is what is so amazing about yesterday is not just the gazillion penalties we got, but how many of them negated huge plays.
Yeah, big plays. Yeah,
That
bad
and
bad
let me
timing.
clarify. Not only negated huge plays, but did not impact it. Right, like it's different if you get a holding call and the big run wouldn't have happened without it. This wasn't that. Right, illegal formation like we talked about on Dallas Goddard's big play that had nothing to do with the play. N'Kobe Dean getting that interception, that big play, the 12th man who was 2 yards from the sideline, nothing to do with the play.
Mm,
And that stuff happened all game long. I just want to read Rhodes real quick, Ben, before you go,
yeah,
because he makes a good point. Yeah, I agree, Rhodes. Absolutely. Look, we got a Super Bowl out of it. Absolutely agree. And like you said, now can Howie be the Howie Roseman we thought? And that's why I brought up the idea of, hey man, they just don't want to make Barkley look bad, which is why Tank isn't playing. I know that sounds crazy, but with some of the stuff I'm seeing from the coaching staff, I wonder because the other thing, and I mentioned this to you, Ben, before we got on, is because the players said it, right? We talked about Dickerson saying it and a couple others. The Dallas Cowboys have been playing a 5 down front quite often this season. The Eagles were surprised by it, didn't prepare for it at all week. That is
mm,
100% coaching,
yeah,
like bad coaching, like negligent, fire me coaching.
yeah. It was yeah,
I mean, think about it. That
not bad.
if to make it sound simpler, like that's just like saying you're playing the team that by far blitzes the most in the NFL, and all week long you don't prepare for the blitz at all, and then after the game the players are like, well, they blitzed a lot, and we didn't expect that.
Yeah, 41 minutes of it's inexcusable, dude.
Like,
It's inexcusable.
I,
And to be, dude, I mean, the defense did their job. I mean, they got
yeah,
two
they
turnovers in
got
the two.
tired and they got injuries.
Yeah, dude, they did their job. I mean,
100%,
that's what I'm
man.
saying, dude. It's Nick Sirianni. I'm putting the penalties squarely on Nick Sirianni's desk, and I'm putting the lack of an actual CB2 on Harry Rosen's desk, man. That's it. Like
Yeah,
as
100%.
bad as things transpired on the offensive side, like I don't want to blame that. Like I think that's the
Right,
easy. Like
because
I
we
need
should
to
have
look.
won anyway.
Exactly. I need to look at those two. I need to look at the two people in charge. And these guys were. I don't know if they were too amped up or what, or were just not paying attention. I don't know, or if it's a combination of the two. But the penalties, can't have those penalties, and then not having a real CB2. I mean,
Yeah. And
that's
again, the decision on the punt return, Barkley's fumble, Barkley fault, like there was a whole lot. But real quick to Rhodes, to your
yeah. But
point,
even taking that
normally
punt
we
return, that's coaching, man. Like that's coaching to me.
it
Even
is,
taking
yeah,
that
no,
punt,
it is, yeah, because you got to make it clear, absolutely in no way do you ever do
yeah.
that, because again,
Like even
it's not
before he
like
runs out there, like as he's putting his helmet on, dude. If it's behind you at the 10, you don't touch it.
yeah,
Don't touch it. If you're near the end
right.
zone, let it go.
It's not like like the second miracle of the Meadowlands, where we need a big return, so we're going to chance it and go. That was unnecessary. Real quick to Rhodes's point, I think we're only going about 10 more minutes because Ben has to leave. Normally we would do longer, but Ben's got another thing. So normally we'd probably go about an hour, but I think we're going to go about 10 more minutes. Why did you want to hop on and
Yeah,
yell?
yeah, dude. What I said earlier is like, dude, you're not Deshaun Jackson. Who the fuck do you think you
Right.
are taking that?
Brian Westbrook.
Who do you think you are taking that? Who seriously? I need to know. You're
Yeah, that's
Xavier
absolutely
Gibson.
absurd. Absurd. Gibson. Yeah.
God damn, like, dude, I would. I mean, I wouldn't even have him return kicks anymore. Like that's how bad that was to me. Like that's how bad that was to me. I wouldn't even have him send kicks. I wouldn't even have him return kicks anymore. He's just that
That
bad.
was that was really and on top of that, then you're not even secure in the football.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna just get rid of my camera here for a second to dig in and find this link for Rhodes. Okay, I'm still here. I'm just putting the this thing on while I play around and try and find this
Gibson did
link.
something stupid like this. That's why the Jets got rid of him. I believe it wholeheartedly, 100%. It's Rob. It's inexcusable, Rob. Those are the type of mental errors that you can't have on a winning team. Like I feel like that's not something that we had last year. It's not something that we had in 2023. We just got to be a little more mentally sound. And the fact that we were up 21-0 makes it sting even more. The fact that it was against the Cowboys makes it sting even more. The fact that the offense went dormant for 41 minutes makes it sting even more. The fact that Saquon had a fumble makes it sting even more. The fact that Gibson can return a punt makes it sting even more. Dude, Rob.
So
dude,
much.
I don't even know. Dude, what's the guy's name? Dean, our punter? This guy put on a clinic when it comes to punting the fucking football yesterday. He put on a clip. If we had any other punter, I'm sure
we have a good punter, man.
I'm sure the Cowboys score at least 1 or 2 more times. The fact that this guy's pinning him consistently within their 10, within their 15, within their 5, this guy did, like, everybody did their job.
I sent you that link, Rhodes.
It stings even more. Like, this team should not have lost the way that they lost yesterday. Like, I don't.
Well, that. Oh man, that's what's wild, Ben. I keep going through my head, and we talk about, like, we could go through. It's insane the length of the list of things we could go through that individually were absolutely ridiculous, and we did them all in one game, and then yet we only lost 24-21. Yeah. Like, I don't know what to do with that.
Yeah, and then defensively, right? Let's just put the passing game to the side. All right, no Blankenship, no Mukubo, fine. Put it to the side. Whatever. Dude, we can't stop the run. Like, like, it felt like we were watching the first half of the Rams game where they're just gashing us left and right, going outside, going inside, 5 yards here, 6 yards here, 7 yards here, up 12-yard run here. It was very bad. Like, it was very, very, very bad. Like, we should have went. Well, I don't know. I don't know what they should have done, but it just didn't seem like they were ready for it.
It was, yeah, man. I mean, oh wait, hold on. Look, I gotta see if. Okay, I gotta rearrange us here. Look at, I'm getting so good at this. No.
How about that? Man. How's it going, guys?
What's going on, Rob?
How you doing?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, great. Y'all are really small, by the way. On
well, that just
in the
this
studio,
is the first.
You're really small.
Really?
Wow.
Oh, like on the screen?
Yeah, on the studio. Yeah. Like I'm in the behind the. Is this the way it looks for you guys? Where you guys are real small, but you're like normal in YouTube? Because I've never used this before, so
it looks that I'm not looking at YouTube right now, but I will say this also. This is the first time I've had 3 people in here, so I've never seen this before, and we did all just get much smaller. I think I can.
Yeah, it did, didn't it? Yeah, okay.
It got much smaller. Oh yeah,
it got much smaller. Yeah, that's the default, but I can play around with it at another time.
Yeah, don't worry about it, man. Yeah, don't worry about it. I just shared this out on Black and White Sports Football. I don't know if anybody will come. But we'll see, man. We'll see if we can get.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Let me hear your breakdown of this game. Go easy. Go easy on this road.
Of this game. Look.
I just realized we brought a Texan in on this.
Yeah. But whoa. I'm not a Cowboys fan.
I know.
But I am objective, and at no point going into halftime did I think Dallas was ever out of this game. I did.
I agree. I
did not think Dallas was out of this game. I told John, I said, look, Jerry Jones, between trades and just sheer amount of defensive personnel coming back off of injury, this defense has gotten much better for the Dallas Cowboys in the last month. Much better. Okay. Saquon Barkley, the Eagles got a problem there. They've got a real issue there. And I don't know. Yeah, and just your luck. If you were to cut him, he might go somewhere else and have a second life. That's
AJ
fine.
Brown.
But we've seen this happen. Chris Johnson. Anybody remember CJ2K back in the day, 2,000 yards, and next thing you know, he was cooked, right? He fell off. We've seen running backs have huge years, and then they fall off a ledge because the sheer amount of wear and tear. That's what the running back. That's why what McCaffrey's doing with the Niners is unbelievable. I think he leads the league in scrimmage yards right now, considering all the carries, everything he's getting. It's remarkable.
He probably, in a way, real quick, I would say he probably, in a way, the injury time, it helped him heal and recover overall. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't have wear and tear on there because he's not playing.
Well, it's possible. I mean, he missed some games, but for the most part, He's been pretty healthy. If he hadn't been, we'd be out of this thing. I
Mm.
mean, we've got
Yeah.
no
Oh,
defensive.
this year, yeah.
Yeah, this year we
Yeah.
got no defensive
Yeah.
personnel left. I mean, we're
No.
literally. I think we've got 3 starters on defense right now, or 4 out of all the personnel. We've lost all of our defensive line. That's neither here nor there. Saquon's got a couple of things going against him: wear and tear, and he's creeping up. How old is Saquon now?
29 now.
Oh shit! Well,
That's what Ben and I were talking about with the career stuff, not just the big year last year.
Well, this is part
a
of the
combo.
running. This is part of the running back's career arc, right?
Yep.
This is what we see. This now look, could he have a value to the team as a 6 to 8 carry guy, 3 catch guy? Maybe, but you've got to have a horse in there at some point. And let me ask you a question: is your offensive line injured? Because
Yeah.
all I heard this offseason was how
both, man.
the Eagles had the far and away the best offensive line in the National Football League. That's what I heard from everybody.
Lots
coming
of injuries.
into this season. Okay,
lots of injuries, and also some drop off. Like Mulata's probably been the healthiest, but he's not anywhere near at the level he was last year.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, Johnson's out. Dickerson's been hurt. Juergens has been hurt. Yeah.
Well, but you get your answers right there. Okay.
Yeah.
Then go look at the Browns and the Raiders. God, I hate to bring that game up, but you look at that game yesterday. Their right and left tackles are gone for the Raiders. They have been. Geno got butt effed in front of everybody yesterday by that Browns defensive line. And it's because that when you get injuries on the offensive line, you're screwed. The entire offense starts breaking down.
Yep.
You can't run the ball. You can't protect the quarterback. You're not opening the same holes you were used to. The pocket starts getting against a team like Dallas, team like Dallas. Kenny Clark, Quinn Williams, that pocket starts collapsing, getting closed up. You may not get all the sacks in the world from that Dallas defense now, but that Dallas defense is not the defense it was 4 weeks ago. They just pitched a shutout against the Eagles in an entire second half of a game.
41 minutes. 41 fucking minutes.
A shutout. This looked like the worst defense in the history of football 5 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I kid you not.
Yeah, I agree, man.
And everybody shit on Jerry for trading Micah Parsons. Boy, that shit looks awfully good right about now, doesn't it? Jerry looks right. Let's just say it out loud. Jerry looks right. He hit it. He hit it right.
He does. And, that it's funny you said that because I think that happens. It happens. Well, I shouldn't say like that. That happens a lot. But the whole idea of you get rid of a great player, of course, everyone criticizes that when it happens. But a lot of times it ends up being the right deal. It's just like signing free agents to huge contracts, right? It usually happens when they've probably already peaked or they might have 1 or 2 good years left and you're paying them massive money for 5 or 6 guaranteed. And you might get that one. Like you said, it worked out for us because we won a Super Bowl. But if you don't win the Super Bowl, right, it's kind of an all or none thing. Then you're overpaying for a guy who's not going to produce at the level he was producing in the past.
Yeah, and especially with defense, it's more committee than just one superstar defensive player. It takes a whole unit to really turn things around on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, you see it everywhere in the league.
Let me pull up the while you guys are talking. I've got it right here because I just keep it up. How sad this is. The NFL playoff picture. So the Eagles dropped to they're in second now, as far as the seeding goes.
And to keep that, we got to beat the Bears.
Yes, I gotta run.
Yeah. Hey, Ben, take care, man.
All right, Ben.
Join us on Sunday. Yeah, join us on Sunday. Hang here.
Yeah, I will if I can. I've been kind of busy on Sunday mornings, but if I can, I would. I'm having a blast. Yeah.
Right. Talk to you guys later.
All right.
Take care,
Ben. We'll see if he disappears. I've never. Okay. Wait. I got to transition this. There we go. All right.
Cool. Man. And so does this not give me the ability to adjust? Like like in StreamYard, either one of us could change the positioning of
You know what? I'm
it if
not
we
sure.
needed
There
to.
might be certain permissions that I can give you. It's kind of
Yeah.
like I said to Ben. Every time we do one, I'm like, oh, I've got to check out this, and this during the week, and then I get too busy, and so I'm kind of learning as we're doing stuff. With whether I can share things and everything. So I
Well,
mean, I like it. I will say that I haven't dug into it, but I like it. It's been
well,
easy to use.
well, things just happened to align today because you guys were live. Normally, I'm on my evening walk with my dogs right now,
Oh yeah, yeah.
but it is storming like a
Oh
son
really?
of a bitch here. Yeah, we've got like tornado warnings and things like that
Oof.
around in the area. So I was like, I can't go outside. Send me a link. I'll
Yeah,
talk some football
absolutely.
for a
No,
few minutes.
yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely. Hey, man, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
You're an older gentleman like myself. Maybe I can't because it's
I'm
driving me
not
nuts
that
now.
old for crying out. I mean,
It's driving me nuts because we were
I'm
just
feeling
talking
that
about the
way.
overpaying free agents and stuff. And there was a guy, and this is a while back now. It might have been even late '90s, early 2000s. One of the first like huge free agent guys, defensive lineman, I think a defensive end. I want to say that I can't remember if he went from the Dolphins. I'm not sure, but he went to Washington. He signed, got a $32 million signing bonus, and then and was terrible. Like never even got close to his past production for Washington. I think he was out of the league like 2 years later.
And he was with the Dolphins. Is that
I'm
who?
not sure. But I know he went to
You're
Washington because
you're not
as an
you're
Eagles
not
fan,
talking you're not talking about Albert Hainsworth when he went from
yes,
Tennessee to
there you go. I think you
yeah.
nailed it. I
Yeah,
believe so. Yeah, yeah.
he was total trash.
Yeah, and
He
he signed like a
he
massive contract.
well, and he was a dirty player. You remember he stomped on somebody's face. That was
Yeah, that's right.
his claim to fame before
Yeah,
he had a monster season during a contract year and then it
exactly.
ended up going to the Redskins and was a total bust. A total bust.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And
Yeah, I mean, we're going through that now. Just a different sport, obviously, but we're going through that right now with the Phillies. Like, do we sign Kyle Schwarber or not? That type of thing because he's going to need a massive contract, but means the end of that contract, he's probably not going to be anywhere near what we're paying him. You know what I mean?
I think you got to look at age. I think you got to really and truly, when you look at NFL contracts, you got to look at the guaranteed dollars.
Oh yeah,
And
NFL's a little different.
what years? It's really a however many years at the guaranteed dollars. So let's say I'll just Lamar Jackson comes to mind. He signed I think it was 4-year, $180 million contract. I may have these numbers kind of wrong, but 140 or 150 million fully guaranteed. So really and truly what you got is you probably got a last season on that contract you could actually get out of it. So it's more
Right.
like a 3-year, 140 or 150 million dollar deal instead of a 4-year.
Well, that
Now
became
now some of them are just terrible. Like Deshaun
Yes.
Watson's the worst contract in the history of the planet.
Yeah. I was going to say in the NFL, as contracts got bigger, players got smarter in that way and what you're talking about. And so many of them, they might sign 7-year deals, but it's like they want it front loaded with signing bonuses or guarantees with big numbers early because otherwise they know they're going to get like cut after 3 years because no one wants to pay that money because they're now past their prime.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Do you still believe that the Eagles shouldn't have traded AJ Brown? Do you think you should not have traded him? Because
yes.
I would have moved him. I can tell you.
Yes.
I would have moved him because
and
I think you're running a risk of losing out on potential reward with him, like in getting what he would have been worth to you.
Right.
Um,
Actually, yeah. I mean, my biggest concern.
He's a great player, but
Yeah.
he's clearly unhappy.
Clearly, but
And
he's also
go ahead.
He's also in a way kind of like Barkley. If you really start looking at all the numbers and looking at things like the separation he creates and this and that, he has not been getting open this year. Like the targets don't matter because he's not getting open.
I'd like to see him with a pure quarterback, a pure passer, though.
Well, but here's the thing:
I'd like to see him with Drake May. I mean, good
I'd like
grief,
to see I'd like to
you know.
see Jalen Hurts for the first time since maybe high school have an offensive coordinator and play caller for more than one season.
Yeah,
Because let's
well,
not forget, AJ Brown was not an all pro until he got to Philadelphia. AJ Brown did not have 1,400 yards receiving 2 years in a row until he got to Philadelphia.
AJ Brown also had Ryan Tannehill. So Ryan Tannehill was serviceable, but he was serviceable in that Alex Smith sort of way. He wasn't I'm talking about, Drake may win the MVP this year, but I'm talking about a pure, real look. I love Jalen Hurts. He's got one of the best deep balls in the league. He struggles at short to intermediate passing. There's no question. He struggles at short to intermediate passing. Um, and,
You know,
and that hurts all the way around. And I believe he's undervalued from a league perspective overall.
dude, NFL
But
last week.
I can't ignore how many ex quarterbacks don't like his game.
Okay, well, here's the thing.
There's
I'm gonna negate that with this is
okay.
here are the guys that I hear that don't like his game in terms of ex quarterbacks. Guys like Dan Orlovsky, guys like Chase Daniel. Here are guys who I hear nothing but high praise from: Tom Brady, Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm leaning towards Tom and Peyton when they're talking about
Chris
him.
Sims doesn't like his game either. I can tell you.
Chris Sims doesn't like anything about the Eagles, and I think he's one of the worst analysts ever.
Well, look,
I've never liked him.
Here's what I would say. Generally speaking, your guys like Orlowski and Daniel and Sims are usually your better offensive coordinators and quarterbacks coaches than your superstar quarterbacks. That's been a fact over the years. Okay, because it's kind of like Jordan. Jordan can't you realize how bad Jordan is at judging talent? That's why he's a horror, because he can't those guys have a hard time processing talent in certain ways. They've got a certain that's great that Tom Brady thinks he's doing great, but
well, here's the thing.
You can see it when you watch them play. It's not. I'm no analyst, but I've watched enough all 22 and for the last 20 years to know there's times he's got real deficiencies on. Tom Brady's not going to be very critical of anybody in his spot. Neither is a Tony.
But I'm not even talking about.
Neither is a Tony Romo. Neither, like Kurt Warner is not the biggest, and Kurt Warner was a hell of a quarterback. He's not
Peyton
the biggest
Manning,
Jalen.
I don't know. I trust Peyton Manning because here's the thing. First of all, to step back, and this is why I think Larry Bird was so unusual, is I agree with you in general. The absolute greats, I think more often than not, far more often than not, they make bad coaches for that, their expectations. But see, I think it's the other way. Their expectations are so high, they can't explain how they want things done because it came easily to them and they don't understand the struggle and all of that. But to me, if you're going to say, hey, I want to learn about a quarterback, not I want this guy to coach and develop, but I want to learn about him, I'm going to listen to Peyton Manning break down his game over Chase Daniel any day of the week.
Where do you have Jalen right now? Because, and I'm going to tell you where I differ from somebody like a Chris Sims. I think Jalen's like he's a top 8 to 10 quarterback in the league.
I would say the exact same thing. I would have said top 10.
Whereas I know Chris Sims literally has him like, I think he's got him in the bottom third of the league or something like that.
This past week, the most recent, well, maybe not most recent if it came out today, but the most recent that I know of, NFL.com dropped Jalen Hurts all the way down to 17. That should, come on.
Well, and there was one other thing that Sims said that would concern me. And he said this, I listened to a lot of his podcast when he's on with Florio and they're like picking games and blah, blah, blah. He says that he has been point blank told by people that's either been with the Eagles or is currently with the Eagles. And we're talking people part of the coaching staffs that believe Jalen Hurts is holding the offense back. And that would be a concern when he says he flat said, I think it might have been 2 or 3 podcasts. I know people with the Eagles that have a problem with the way he's playing because they cannot run the offense they want to run.
That's a lie.
Yeah, you think that's a lie?
Yeah, speaking as someone who's here. Hold on, I'll keep going.
I don't believe analysts go on TV and just flat lie about something like that.
But here's where that came
because
from.
they all know people around the league.
Yeah, but this is how nonsense and rumors get started. This came from Derek Gunn, who's been a longtime Philly guy, who was with the local NBC Sports, no longer with them, like doing his own thing, not really relevant now, has always hated Jalen Hurts, has always said negative things about Jalen Hurts. He came out recently. This is where it came from. He's the one that said what you're just saying, that there are people in the locker room that think Jalen Hurts is the problem, that they're frustrated with him, that the offense can't be run because of him. And now everyone is running with that story twice removed with nothing behind it at all. Anyone who's here in Philly will tell you Derek Gunn is a liar.
Sims has echoed things like that on and off for years now, though. This isn't just new with him.
But in watching them, I'm not buying it.
And you've got to remember, and this is where people lose sight of these guys that are in the media, especially ex-players and coaches. They literally can grab their phone and text message coaches on that team. They know them. They know these guys. They've got relationships because of the tentacles of coaching staffs, the roots of the coaching staffs all over the league. So they know everybody. And so that's why I don't think a lot of – now, you may have some analysts, I guess, that would make things up, but I just don't – there's some that you can tell they're talking out of the ass for the sake of race or something like that.
I'm not even saying he made it up, but what he is referring to is made up. See, he got cover by – and I'm not saying purposely or that he's doing that on purpose, Chris Sims, but they got cover – they all got cover, these guys who don't like Hurts, from Derek Gunn coming out and saying that, because now they can all reference Derek Gunn.
Okay.
Do you see what I mean?
Okay.
And from someone being here and from what I've seen, and by the way, and this is where I think also being here in the area, we get to hear things from Jalen Hurts that doesn't necessarily become national. And Jalen Hurts, as delicately as he can, because he's not that type of guy, has come out and said at certain times, like the second half of the Rams game, yeah, they let the straitjacket out. They took the straitjacket off me. Yeah, that's the offense we should be playing. We're too conservative in the first half. Jalen Hurts wants to play the offense that these guys say that he can't. And I've watched enough film and going back in the years and all these things they say he can't do. I watch him do it on film. And now I will, to be fair, I mean, I'm being fair. I've been critical over time with Jalen Hurts. He has certain deficiencies. That being said, one, every quarterback does. Two, what I've seen from Jalen Hurts is things that I thought he was really bad at in, say, 21, 22. He's working on and getting better at doing. And I don't know what else you can ask from the guy. I don't get it.
He's made a lot of progression, obviously. There was when he was drafted, people called him a running back. You know, I mean, he's made he's won he had a couple of the best performances we've ever seen during Super Bowls.
Yeah, I mean, last year he did it with, don't forget, Saquon Barkley was not good in the Super Bowl. He did that without a running game.
I just wonder, I don't know. What do you think? I mean, like, for example, we found out the Eagles wanted to draft Shadur. You know, you heard about that, right?
About what?
About the fact that the Eagles wanted to draft Shadur Sanders. You heard about that, right?
Oh, yeah.
And the Ravens did too. They both, and he turned them down. Do you think Howie, because I heard that and was like, oh, Howie wants to do the Carson Wentz strike. Okay. And the Carson Wentz strike was, let me take Jalen in the second and develop him into somebody that potentially can take over for Carson. And that was Howie made a hell of a move there. I mean, I couldn't have. I'm going to be honest. I couldn't have moved off of Carson because Carson was about to run away with the MVP when he
Oh
got hurt.
yeah. Look, here's the thing with Carson as a Philly guy, and especially being removed from it now. The man deserves a ton of credit for us winning that Super Bowl. We don't get there without the season he had up until the injury. That being said, and what's interesting is I think drafting Jalen Hurts exposed this. So even if Jalen didn't end up becoming the guy, drafting him was good because here's what it did. And I don't know how much this got out nationally, but in seeing like the post games with, that we see locally, where we see all the Philly players talking and this and that, here's what we learned a lot about Carson Wentz. He didn't have the mentality to be great because he already thought he was the best. He already thought he was better than everyone. He already thought that no one should challenge him, that the spot was his, and that he could do no wrong, and therefore he didn't put in the work that he needed to put in to keep being great. The man had tons and tons of talent, doesn't have the head.
Well,
I think that's why he's never taken that next step.
And he has self-admitted he did not handle things very well when he was younger.
That's like he's removed as well, and he's older, and he's
admitted that. Yeah.
I give him credit, man, and I think he's been treated poorly in Minnesota.
Now, people also forget Tom Brady went to Robert Kraft and scorched earth over them drafting Jimmy Garoppolo. He did.
To be fair, that's Tom Brady.
Well, I know, but that was they hadn't won the extra 3 Super Bowls. They were in that lull.
Right.
Lull where they,
you know what?
They went a decade in between winning rings.
Yeah.
In New England.
To that point, I'm glad he actually brought that up because I think that may be one of the, and I don't know if there's an equivalent in another sport. That may be one of the most difficult, challenging things for an organization who has a very good quarterback in terms of keeping an eye on the future and recognizing when you have an opportunity to draft that next guy, because you got to do it before your current guy's cooked.
Don't you think it's kind of odd that that the Colts never put anybody behind Peyton Manning? They never put any. And I always had a theory that Peyton didn't want anybody behind him. He didn't want. He didn't want
I never thought about that.
I mean, a Jacoby Brissett type. He didn't want that kind of guy. He wanted a Curtis Painter, a guy that we all found out was hot ass garbage. There was years where Favre didn't have anybody behind him. Doug Peterson was the guy behind Favre. It wasn't like.
Well, as I said, it's a challenging
like
thing
Bill
for
Walsh,
sure.
where Bill Walsh was collecting quarterbacks like they were trophies. And Mariucci. Mariucci had Steve Young and Elvis Gerback and Jeff Garcia.
You know what's wild is to that point, and it basically ended his career. And I feel bad because I actually liked him as a quarterback, even though he wasn't on very many good teams. Is Drew Bledsoe. Right? I mean, they draft Tom Brady in the 6th round. Let's not forget, Drew Bledsoe is the guy that got the Patriots that first Super Bowl that Tom won. Drew Bledsoe is the one that got him into the AFC Championship and got him the lead, and then he gets hurt. He got Wally pipped, man.
People that are not old enough don't realize how good Drew
was so good, man.
Drew Bledsoe was.
I loved watching Drew Bledsoe play.
Drew Bledsoe was a hell of a quarterback, and people don't remember that. Yeah, because of what happened with Tom Brady. But I remember those earlier Patriot days, and they came real close to winning that Super Bowl against the Packers. Desmond Howard ended up winning the thing for them. But anyway, it's an interesting question. Jalen Hurts is one of the more interesting stories in general across the league, I think, because he's a different. I mean, I'm going to tell you this. I put way more stock in Jalen Hurts being a winning quarterback than I do Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, and I appreciate you saying that, man, because I'm exhausted from the Jalen Hurts hate.
I don't understand how everybody kisses Lamar Jackson's ass and then shits on Jalen Hurts. I'm like, that is the running quarterback that's actually won one and that's actually gotten there twice. And you sons of bitches are all silent about him. You're silent. I mean,
I don't get it. I mean, here's the thing, and this is why to you know step out and try to be as objective as I can with it is I've realized, but like to me, any quarterback in the NFL, we can talk about things that they need to get better at. Okay. And why I sometimes struggle to discuss them about Jalen Hurts, whereas a few years ago I wouldn't have. It's because it's a 24/7 trying to defend the guy from over the top ridiculous criticisms that are clearly
nah,
personal
nah,
dislike.
man, don't do like Brock Purdy. I mean, look, I'm a Niners fan. Some bitch can kick rocks. I mean, I'm not going to battle. I'm not going to battle for. There's not a quarterback in the. I really like Drake May. Hell, I've got a soft spot for Mac Jones. I'm not going to lose sleep over none of them sons of bitches at all. I'm not because they do all got deficiencies. Okay,
Yeah.
I love
Oh,
Baker
yeah.
Mayfield. I'm a big Baker Mayfield guy. I think he's come back from he should still be in Cleveland right now,
Yeah,
and
he
I think
should.
we all know it. The disrespect he's got, but I don't. There's only who's the best. I mean, I still have a hard time not thinking Patrick is really close to the best quarterback in the league. I know he's having some problems this year, and I know his numbers aren't great, but he's won what? 3? He's
Yeah,
won
3.
3.
Yeah.
He's been to 4. Am I right? Or been to 5? Has he been to
I
4 or
think it's been
5? You
oh
know,
man.
he's
I
been to the
wanted to
AFC
say
Championship game every
5.
year. Yeah.
Yeah, but
And one of those he got destroyed by the GOAT. The GOAT destroyed him in a Super Bowl.
yeah,
He
yeah, yeah.
lost to Tom Brady.
Oh,
It
then
took Tom Brady
he's been to
to
5 then. Yeah, he's been to
yeah.
5. Because yeah,
So, I mean, it's and they do. They all got some deficiencies. Patrick Mahomes does. I still am baffled by a team like the Bills and how they've chosen to not build their team
yeah,
around Josh Allen and even Patrick Mahomes. I mean, who is Patrick Mahomes, Devontae Smith, or AJ Brown?
yeah.
He doesn't have one. You know?
Yeah, it's
Uh,
you know what? I will say what is for me has been is really it's really difficult to evaluate, I guess, quarterbacks in this era because the game has changed so much. It's so pro passing, and we've got guys who just aren't that good putting up better numbers than Hall of Famers just because of how much the game has changed. And I think now you also have guys coming out of college and they're being thrown right in it. And look, I don't know what JJ McCarthy's going to be, okay? But I'm just using him as an example because it's recent. He gets one game and people are already like they know whether he's going to be great or
well,
terrible. I'm
he,
like,
he's
what?
he's a rookie. He
But that's
didn't
what I'm
even play
saying. But
last year. And
players used to develop at the
uh,
quarterback position.
you can't do it now. And it's
No,
because the rookie contracts are now paid a lot less. And you just I think because of how the rules are, you feel like
yeah,
you should be able to see more out of a quarterback
that's what I'm
quicker
saying.
now
That's
in
why
the
I wonder,
evaluation.
like, because of
So
all that.
I also think we have talked ourselves into certain guys being franchise guys that aren't.
That aren't.
Kyler Murray, he's not a franchise quarterback. I don't give a
Nope.
fuck. Trevor Lawrence, get out of my face. You're a bust, and nobody wants to say it out loud. He's a bust. He is a bottom third of the league quarterback. He still makes baffling decisions,
What's
and
Tua?
he's honestly, I take Tua over either
Okay,
one of those guys.
he like that
If you
seemed to be
want to know
someone
the
who's kind
truth,
of. That's
because
why I
Tua,
asked because he's kind of in a similar situation in terms of the amount of years and all that. I was curious what you would.
Tua is extremely accurate, which immediately puts him above those other
Yeah,
two guys for me. Because I know, well, if Tua gets in the right offense, he can run like Tua and Kyle Shanahan's offense would be deadly.
that
He'd
well,
be,
see, I'm
he'd
glad
be
you brought that
deadly.
up. We we
Or in
actually
Sean Payton's offense, he'd be
yeah
deadly. Like Drew
we
Brees
moved
was
past
extremely
it.
accurate.
We
You
moved
know,
past it and other stuff, and I'm glad you brought that up because a while back when you brought up Brock Purdy, I meant to ask you, and this goes to any quarterback really in terms of how much, like, look at Daniel Jones and what he's doing, how much system and coaching and all matters. Is
it
I would
matters.
like to see
It,
Jalen
it
Hurts,
it's
who has had a
everything.
different
It's
coordinator every
everything.
year. I would love to see him with someone like Kyle Shanahan.
It,
What can
it's
he do?
everything.
Yeah,
It's the difference between your quarterback being a bust and not being a bust. Or and if they can't play, they get exposed with that coach very quickly.
yeah,
Okay, so and case in point, Liam Cohen is fully exposing Trevor Lawrence right now because
right,
Liam Cohen is a hell of a look at how many games the Jags have won,
yeah,
and you can visibly tell Trevor Lawrence is frustrating the shit. Liam Cohen's not even trying to hide it anymore. Like
right.
he's not even trying to hide it. Um, I think the coach part is everything. All right. How did Jalen have? He had Kellen Moore, right?
Yeah, and he was great with Kellen Moore. In fact, I'm so glad you said that because the next thing I was going to say, and I think
You know,
I think a lot of Philly fans, I don't know how many are voicing it, but I believe this. I think one of the biggest mistakes that the Eagles made was letting Kellen Moore go instead of firing Nick Sirianni and making Kellen Moore the head coach here.
oh, well, you know what? That's funny you say that because the narrative in Tampa Bay is they should have fired Todd Bowles and promoted Liam Cohen.
Yeah,
And that was a story when it looked like Liam Cohen was thinking about leaving. You had a subsection of Bucks fans. I did videos on it that were losing their minds because they were like, keep Liam Cohen and Baker Mayfield together. Okay. And Dave Canales was partly responsible for helping reboot Baker. Well, Bryce Young is starting to look much more like a franchise quarterback.
Yes,
But
good for him.
But he's not one. I'm gonna keep it real. I don't think he is one.
Yeah,
And
no,
and unfortunately
many
for
guys,
him, physical stature matters at quarterback, and
it does.
he's too
Not
small.
many,
He's
not
too
many
small.
guys are franchise, right? So that's the thing. Is he going? Can he be good enough if you have other pieces around, right? Like not every team's going to have a franchise quarterback. So it's like, and it goes back to what you're saying about coaching and system and all of that. Do you have someone that's good enough that can fit with what you want to do that allows you to win?
Coaching is everything with quarterbacks. It's everything.
And so that's what I don't
with
think.
Development and them guys taking a step up. It's everything. There's a reason why Bo Nix looks better than Russell Wilson did with Sean Payton. Russell Wilson got exposed very quickly with Sean Payton. Sean Payton knew Russell could not run his offense. Number one, he was too damn short, and he couldn't see around the linemen. Number two, he struggled with short to intermediate passing. And in a timing and rhythm offense like Sean Payton's, you're screwed. That's what he wants is timing and rhythm. Look at he was with Drew Brees, who was the poster child. By the way,
dunk master.
Yeah, Joe Bob, it's Jared Goff. It's not close.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up for you.
Close.
That's why.
Yeah, it's not close. I mean, that's not even Jared Goff. Actually, I used to shit all over him. I was wrong. I stand corrected. Jared Goff's a good quarterback. He's a good quarterback. I mean, he is a good quarterback.
He's a good quarterback. He's, for me, the next step for him, what I would like to see, well, I don't want to see it as an Eagles fan, but is he is one of those guys, like a Josh Allen, who is prone to big-time turnover games when it matters most. I think he's got to cut back on bad turnovers.
Well, I can tell you the one thing that, I mean, we can say even Sean McVay has admitted, yeah, he was kind of wrong about Jared Goff, because I think he thought Jared Goff was a bust. And that's why he moved off of him, But he made the right call because they got a world title out of it. And frankly, the Rams may get another one out of it this year. Out of the Stafford looks unbelievable. He's officially the runaway MVP right now. You just lost your audio, man.
Can you hear me?
Yep, now you're good.
Sorry, I really like this mic, and it's funny in looking at the reviews and everything. The one thing they say is bad on it is this. I'm going to turn it around. Look where the mute button is, right by my thumb.
Well, mine's pretty close too.
Is it? Yeah,
actually,
it's kind of annoying.
Yeah.
But I was going to say, since I'm a Clemson alumni, and it pains me to say Trevor Lawrence is not doing what I expected in the NFL. Yeah, I think a lot of people feel that way. I mean, the kid in college, but there's what now. I think it's not as dramatic now, but there was a time, and it still is, because a lot of the teams these quarterbacks play, their guys get open by 5, 6, 7 yards, and it's like if they're semi-accurate, they're going to put up big numbers, but you don't get that in the NFL. It's just there's a different level, obviously.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, come on, Tim Tebow is maybe the greatest college quarterback ever, but he's not an NFL quarterback.
He was not an NFL quarterback. No, he was not. And I know there's some guys on our side of the fence that swear up and down he could have been a great NFL quarterback. And I was like, he couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. He was one of the most inaccurate quarterbacks in the history of the NFL that actually got starts. I loved him. I do. And if I have a feeling if you gave Tim truth serum, he would tell you he should have switched to fullback or tight end immediately, because he'd have played 10 years.
He could have been in this NFL with what the prototype is. He could have been a bad tight end, man. I mean that in a good way, obviously, with the way he was built and his athleticism. Yeah. Oh my goodness, he could have been the tight end.
Taysom Hill is a good example.
I can't remember who it was now that at the time that people used to hype up and stuff, and they would use him to trash Tim Tebow, and it was oh man, I think it was whoever replaced him in Denver, maybe, but I can't remember, because as someone who liked Tim Tebow, I mean, I admit he was not an NFL quarterback, but I was always able to say, yeah, but Tim Tebow actually won a playoff game. Like, Tim Tebow won a playoff game, because they'd bring up other quarterbacks, and I'm like, yeah, but Tim has a playoff win, man. That guy doesn't have a playoff win.
Yeah. That was Demaryius Thomas. He hit for the touchdown against the Steelers, right?
Against the Steelers,
one of the greatest moments I've ever seen watching the NFL.
Yeah. It was incredible.
It was. I'm
it's
surprised.
It's an overused phrase, but it shocked the world. Hey man, I got to go back.
I'm surprised I didn't blow a hamstring out jumping off my couch when it was a glorious moment for fans. It really was.
Yeah.
It really
I want to go back, and this is for Eagles fans.
Rest in peace, Demaryius Thomas.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that, man.
Yeah, they retired his jersey.
Yeah. Wow. I want to go way back to when I was just a wee lad, because this is a great example, I think, of what you're saying about the coach being everything in the system, and this is in reverse. Okay. My favorite quarterback, Eagles quarterback, all time. Okay, not even close for me. Randall Cunningham.
Okay. Yeah.
Now,
sure.
And
I was a big Randall Cunningham fan.
Yeah. Okay. I can't remember which. I can't remember if it was Ray Rhodes, if it was Rich Kotite. I can't remember which coach came in at the time, but they came in with Randall there and installed, the short passing, quick slant at the time, what we would call the West Coast offense, right?
Yeah, sure.
Randall
Ray Rhodes was a West Coast offense guy.
Yeah, so it might have been Ray. Randall had a whole lot of great talent at quarterback. Speaking of a deep ball that was beautiful. But the one thing he did have was a long windup, right? The man was not going to throw a 3-yard quick slant. He couldn't do it. He struggled with it. We end up trading him to Minnesota, where they say, hey, you know what? We're going to put a system around what Randall does well, which is throw the intermediate and the deep ball. And he had monster Pro Bowl years in Minnesota.
The one thing he did do with Minnesota, he was a much better pocket quarterback by the
But that's
time he
kind of what
got
I'm
the
saying. They
minutes.
they
Yeah,
they they
yeah,
ran plays that were
yeah,
good, that
yeah.
used what he did well as
Man,
a pocket passer.
people don't realize how good that Vikings team was. I mean, that was so fluky they didn't make it to the Super Bowl. You know, that Vikings team was something else.
Well, to be fair, it was the one year in Philly that Randall got hurt was like the Eagles had one of, some would argue, the best defense in the history of the NFL, but it was top 5. But it was a year where they went through roads. They went through like 5 quarterbacks. I mean, we were pulling guys off the street, still went 10-6 and made the playoffs. But I'm like, if Randall had been, because we went through, I think Jim McMahon might have been one of the QBs at the
Yeah,
time, but
yeah,
we
I
went through
remember
like
that.
5 QBs that year because everyone was getting hurt. I mean, I think maybe that was the time when we finally brought in Jeff Garcia too, like when he was already done, like brought him off the street or something. I mean, it was insane how bad that was. But yeah, Randall, man, and that's just what I'm saying about like what you were saying about the coach and the system,
I
because
think
we tried to.
Jeff was a little later because
Okay,
didn't he because
you
he
might be
came
right.
he come to you guys after the Niner years, isn't that right?
Yes, yeah, you're
Okay,
right.
well
You're right.
he made 4 straight Pro Bowls for us. I was
Yes,
a huge Jeff Garcia
he had
guy.
some big years, man. He had
I
some big
was
years.
I'm like, people do not realize he had a big year with the Bucks. He had a big year. Didn't he have a pretty good year for the Eagles? He
He
had a
did.
good
He
year
did
for the
play well. He
Eagles.
did. He
Yeah,
wasn't here long as a starter, but he played well
yeah,
when he was.
yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, man. I bring this guy up all the time. Uh, Lawrence is a disappointment. Ryan Leaf was a bust. Yeah, Ryan Leaf defines bust.
Yeah.
Pick number 2
Yeah.
after Peyton Manning
Jamarcus Russell.
and Jamarcus Russell. But
Yeah.
Ryan Leaf is like a top 3 bust.
Speaking of, um, you want to talk about coaching matters. This is a perfect example of it. When Jim Harbaugh was hired by the San Francisco 49ers to be the head coach, everybody immediately thought Jim was going to get rid of Alex Smith. Okay. Alex Smith had been in the league for about 7 or 8 years. So just to tell you how times have changed, he was a starter on and off for 7 or 8 years and was a bust. He was a bust, a full-fledged bust.
Yeah, quick note before you continue with the story. I was an Alex Smith fan. I always thought if he's in the right system with the right coach, he had the talent.
But it was hard to believe that because he had Mike Marks and Mike McCarthy, and he had Norv Turner. He had Norv Turner. I mean, he had offensive guys, and it just was not working out. The perfect example of how coaching matters. Jim Harbaugh gets there, and literally, first season, Alex Smith looks like a different quarterback under the coaching of Jim Harbaugh. Alex Smith took them to a NFC championship game. I mean, nobody ever dreamed that was possible with Alex Smith. And Harbaugh rebooted Alex's career, who then went to Andy Reid. Alex had 8 good professional quarterbacking years because of what? 2 elite offensive coaches, Jim Harbaugh and Andy Reid. It matters. It absolutely matters.
Oh, look, I do not think Donovan McNabb has anywhere the career that he had without Andy Reid.
I love Donovan.
He just doesn't. By the way, Alex Smith too, and man,
I wish he'd have won his Super Bowl.
Alex Smith had one of the worst injuries. I mean, other than obviously things like concussion, like really bad head injuries, Alex Smith may have one of the worst career-ending injuries of quarterback I've ever seen.
He had the Joe Theismann injury.
Yeah, and then some. Yeah.
It's amazing that he came back and ever took another. He took a few snaps. He played a few snaps,
because he almost lost his leg, man.
Yeah, I know it. Well, he almost died, actually.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
They people don't realize Alex Smith almost died because of that injury because he ended up got sepsis from it.
Something like that, yeah.
It was ugly. It was really ugly.
Yeah, Chris, I agree, man. I don't know if you just got here. We're kind of talking about that. I mentioned to Rose because he's a big 49ers guy. I said I would love to see. Well, first of all, I'd love to see Jalen Hurts have an offensive coordinator for more than a year. But to see him with someone like Kyle Shanahan or someone like that, and for more than a year, yeah, I'd like to see that, man.
And you know what? It's a good problem to have because if you've got an offensive coordinator for usually 1 year, that means you're winning because somebody hired him as
Yeah.
a head coach.
Well, and that's
You
why
know,
what a lot of the conversations with Eagles fans around here now are like, we got to go get a good offensive coordinator who's older because he's not. It's not a stepping stone to be a head coach. Like they want to be an offense, kind of like we have Vic Fangio as a defensive coordinator. He's not looking to be a head coach anywhere.
well, I really thought your next offensive coordinator was going to be Mike McDaniel. Okay. But I think he's going to come back next year. I thought he was an automatic. I was making videos thinking he was going to get fired. And then when they fired Chris Greer, and of course now the Dolphins been on a little run here. I don't know if you've noticed.
I have
Okay.
noticed. I've noticed
Okay.
because I saw
Well,
what they did to that the guy who walks on water named Josh Allen.
it's he's done enough that I think Stephen Ross is going to bring him back for another season. That, and I don't know how many great coaching candidates there are out there, to be honest with you. You know,
That's why
um,
guys always keep getting recycled, man.
well, I know like the Giants are going to try to get Harbaugh or Tomlin from the Ravens or the Steelers.
Oh wow,
Okay. Yeah.
that would, that would be interesting.
They're going to try to get one of those. Tomlin is the guy they really want.
Yeah.
Is the guy they really want, and obviously they'd have to trade for him. And
Right.
I can understand them thinking about trading for him because look, they've already got their quarterback, they already got their running back, they already got their star wide receiver. So you could part with a first round pick to get Mike Tomlin. Now, whether or not the Rooneys will do it, I don't know.
Yeah, man.
I think it's time that Lane Kiffin got another look. But
if he does, he want to.
I think there's been rumors that the Giants have been flirting around with him behind the scenes, but I think it's too late. It's all moving too fast, and I think LSU's already hired him. So,
okay.
I
gotta say, man. And on the one hand, it's kind of cool because I like it. I like it in terms of talking trash with the rest of the league when the NFC East is really good. Obviously, though, as an Eagles fan, it can hurt, but now things change quickly. But it's setting up because you just talked about the Giants and what they have. It's setting up that the entire NFC East could be very good in a year or two.
Well, it's the weirdest part is you're going to look up and the Redskins are going to be the worst team.
Yeah, how about that?
I love Jaden Daniels. When I was doing my draft eval, Jaden Daniels was my number one quarterback coming out, and I sure as hell looked right. I look right. I had Caleb Williams back at 4.
They went the wrong way. The organization went the wrong way. They went very old with that team this year. It's like one of the oldest teams in the NFL.
Well, and I'm going to tell you, I don't know how sold I was on Dan Quinn, to be honest, because we had done a lot of videos when they were trying to run Dan Quinn the hell out of Atlanta and get him out of there. That was something I covered a lot for Black and White Sports. They couldn't wait to get Dan Quinn out of Atlanta. It became a nightmare down there. And I was like, y'all are going to hire Dan Quinn? Honestly, I'd have hired Cliff Kingsbury as the head coach before I'd have hired Dan Quinn.
Oh, really?
I'd have given him another shot. Yeah. Yeah, I would have. Now, that's a guy y'all should have moved heaven and earth to have hired as an offensive coordinator. Cliff Kingsbury.
Well, see, that's where I think someone who's not getting enough heat in Philly right now is Howie Roseman, because Howie Roseman let Nick Sirianni put his buddy in at offensive coordinator. And I'm sorry, but when your goal is a Super Bowl title, you do not hire an offensive coordinator who has never called plays ever.
This is what's funny. You just brought up Howie Roseman. On a national level, that motherfucker's Jesus Christ.
Oh,
you might as well forget it. I mean, I don't hear a solitary person not call him the best general manager in the NFL. Not
Which,
you
yeah,
do not hear it. You do not.
and
It is,
yet
and
we
it's
let Isaiah
unanimous.
Rodgers go,
You know,
and we did not get a second cornerback, which has been crushed this team. We go
yeah,
and get Ringo, and we get Adoree Jackson, we get Carter, who can't get on the field, and we get Alexander, who retires.
yeah. Howie, and might as well have a lifetime contract there. He's not
Oh, I
going
know.
anywhere.
Oh, don't
Yeah,
get me wrong.
yeah,
He's done a lot
that.
more good than bad. I'm
Yeah,
just saying he should not have let Nick Sirianni
yeah.
install Kevin Patullo.
John Middlecoff was a scout for the Eagles when he worked under Andy Reid. Middlecoff's got the 3 and Out podcast, and God damn it, he thinks Howie Roseman walks on water. I mean, it's
Yeah.
serious.
This, not to interrupt you, but this is relevant. This is a good point Chris said. Eagles were going to hire Kiff, but Howie and Laurie want power. Yeah, I agree. If you notice, that's a thing in Philly. I don't know if National gets that, like you said, because they think Howie walks on water. But that is one thing that has irked Philly is look at who we've been getting as head coaches. That's because we don't want it. They don't want. Howie and Jeff do not want a head coach who's really, really good and wants power. They want a yes man.
Well, it is pretty well recognized that Howie is the guy up there
Okay.
that runs it all. Like I said, he's viewed as Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Up there in league circles. I mean,
which I can understand with drafting and all that, but we got to get a good coach.
I'm not trying to be offensive to anybody, but I'm just saying on a national level, yeah, Howie walks on water. You can. I don't think you. I mean, he's got a lifetime gig there. I would think.
Oh no, hey man, I don't want Howie going anywhere. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
I'm just pointing out some of the things that haven't been good. He's done. I mean, I can't remember it off the top of my head, but if you look at the guys on this roster right now that came from the Carson Wentz trade, ultimately, when we got draft picks and everything, it's insane. I mean, we got like 5 or 6 of the best players in the league all for Carson Wentz.
Now look. Now, if for whatever reason, let's say just strangeness happens, and you had the opportunity to hire, say, a Kyle Shanahan as a head coach, or Sean McVay and his guy out there in LA as your head coach and GM combination, I'd launch Howie Roseman into the fucking sun to get them on my team.
Yeah, and you know why? Why it will never happen?
Jim Harbaugh, I'd launch his ass into the sun if I could have hired somebody like Jim Harbaugh.
And you know why it would never happen in Philly? Because we went through it with an absolute disaster. Jeff Lurie gave that kind of power to Chip Kelly, demoted Howie Roseman.
Well, I mean, it's Chip. I don't understand it. Does Chip Kelly have naked pictures of everybody in the league?
I'm just saying.
I don't understand it. I don't. And then the fucking Niners hired him as a goddamn head coach. I couldn't believe it when I saw that news that we had randomly hired Chip Kelly out of nowhere. Oh, we're going to pair him up with Colin Kaepernick.
The only thing here's what's wild though. The only thing that I will say about the whole Chip Kelly thing that's kind of wild to me is it was under Chip Kelly that Nick Foles had one of the greatest quarterback seasons ever.
I could have. I said it the day he got hired with the Raiders. I made a video and I said, I cannot believe they are hiring Chip Kelly. It's the worst move in the history of planet Earth.
Chris nailed it, man. Look he knows. It gave the Eagles trauma, 100%, man.
Chip Kelly's given Chip Kelly has officially gave multiple NFL fan bases trauma.
Absolutely.
I mean, he is.
Wait. Are we sure he didn't give UCLA trauma too?
Very, very likely. Now he'll get Now I will tell you this: if I'm Belichick, I'm hiring Chip Kelly as my OC in college. Now I would do that.
He'd be great at that. Yeah, sure.
He was running collegiate principles at the NFL level. That doesn't work.
Right.
You can't do it. I mean, I understand there's been some crossover, but he was literally running his offense off of college hash marks. I'm kidding you not. That is a true story.
And his hurry up was a disaster here because it just wore out our defense. Like our defense wouldn't even fully get to the bench before we'd score and send them back out there.
Dude, the Raiders drafted Ashton Gente, and they ran the ball 6 times 2 weeks ago. at number 6 overall, and he ran the ball 6 times 2 weeks ago. He would have been gone. I would have never hired him. I loved everything the Raiders did until it all came to a screeching halt with the news that they hired Chip Kelly, and I could not believe it. I was like, wow, why are you doing this?
Yeah, I got to tell you, after he went back to college, I never expected to see Chip Kelly in the NFL again. Now,
Me neither.
Let me
Me
back up.
neither.
Maybe as an offensive coordinator, maybe, but not. I mean, maybe
I didn't even think that. I thought he might get like a.
But overall, I just didn't even expect him back in the NFL.
I could have seen him being some offensive numbers cruncher for some NFL team.
Yeah. Well, that's what it made me like an offensive consultant.
I never dreamed he would get an OC job.
No,
I didn't. I thought, damn, I thought we've been down this road before.
Yeah.
Because he was the OC's, he might have had another one in name, but we all know with the Niners and the Eagles, it was his gig.
I mean, all I can think is that they're thinking, well, if we make him OC, then we're taking away all those other things that he was terrible at as a head coach, and then maybe that'll end up with a good result. That's all I can think because, I mean, I don't get it.
Well, hey, man, I hate to cut this short, but I need
that's all right. I got to roll soon as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I got. It's thundering, and I don't really want to, but they've normally gone for a walk by 4:30 my time, and it's almost 5:30. So
your floors are going to get messy.
Well, it could. Yeah, they could. It was fun, man.
I appreciate you popping on. It was a good time.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, I appreciate everyone showing up, popping into the comments. Hopefully, you got something out of it, man. But all right, we'll leave it there. Maybe we'll get you on next week as well. Talk some overall football after we trash the Eagles.
During the week is probably easier than Sunday morning. Sunday morning is kind of a wreck because it's the one day I've got to try to take care of some personal kind of stuff.
Right. I get that.
Yeah.
I get it. All right. So maybe we'll do it like this because we've been trying to do this the day after thing on Monday. So maybe that works out better.
Yeah.
All right, man. Appreciate everyone showing up, man.